all this mess is because, look at my bathroom. All me bits and bobs taken down. Anyway, it's all taking place. Hello, I am just looking at the rather glorious and beautiful day that we've got ahead of us. Yeah, looks nice. So this room is a bit of a pickle. Would you like these? My little fake books. I love some. Oh, hot. I've been out playing ball and trying to knacker him out because I'd like to go to the SHOP without him being too upset. Anyway, so I thought I would show you very, very quickly kind of the second stage of the bathroom. Look at this lot. Who would live in a house like this? So, it's now light grey. Remember all that was kind of a bluey splattered effect that I did. And it's going to be tiled obviously, but the paintwork is lovely, the ceiling is lovely. In fact, so much so that guess what? I think I've decided to leave it alone, to not put all my stuff up. However, I do like quite a lot of my stuff, certainly probably 20 pieces, 20 different things, so I am going to put them up somewhere. I will keep hold of them. I may even do this room again, who knows? Who knows, I tells you. But for now, that's my mindset. Now, I don't know whether that's because of the amount of work that it's likely to take. You okay, bird? You're hiding? It's just a washing machine, that's all. Just doing the washing. Is that okay? Yeah? Don't be worried about the washing. Okay, I know, because your ears are back. But that's it, that's better. He hides his nose if he's scared. Hello? Oh, where's your nose gone? There it is. Yeah, so I'm hot and bothered. So I don't know whether it's the amount of work or whether I just can't be bothered at the moment or what, I don't know. I tell you what's happening is every single night the place is in a bloody pigsty. So I spend a couple of hours, I hoover, I tidy, I wipe down, I get rid of the dirt, the dust, you know, it's just a mess. Everywhere's a mess. Every time you touch anything, a door handle, you go to open a door handle and it goes bloody crunch like that and you think, what's this shit, you know. But anyway, it is what it is. I'm going to be happy. Well, I am happy, but I'm going to be happier. So that'll be good. So, yeah, like I say, it is what it is. So I'm just going to go and make a Slurpee, and then I just thought we'd have a quick chat, really. I mentioned in two videos about this premiere, that I've got some quite big news or quite exciting news or whatever it is. And it is, for me it is, on a personal level, it's very, very exciting, but you might enjoy it as well. So we'll discuss that when I come back, which will be in a minute or two. I just need to get a Slurpee. Cheers. Beautiful day. Hello, hello again. What a wonderful singer. So, Bo, can you move a little bit, please? Oh, a little bit more. Thank you. There we go, that's a bit better. Wow. I might be disturbed. I'm a bit hot. I might be disturbed in a minute. Who knows? I don't know who's turning up today to do the bathroom. But anyway, we will see. I think I've got so many little clips and bits and bobs, but I think I've just shown you the paintwork, which is light grey. The company doing it gave me a choice really of about 5 colours, that was all. Probably what they think a bathroom should be. To be honest, I think, I don't know, black, bright red, purple, copper, I don't know. Tie-dye, a splash of this and a splash of that with a bit of lime bloody green. I like a bit of colour. Okay, in fact, this is Halloween, this top? Oh, it is. It's kind of, look at the purple, look at that. The red. Oh, that's nice actually. Oh, what a lovely top. Halloween. Have you noticed that Halloween once was the domain of children, wasn't it? Trick or treat. And it seems to be bloody adults now buying their garb to go out to parties. They've stolen it from children. So what's going on with the camera? That's probably better, isn't it? So, will I ever get sorted? I doubt it. We'll try that. How's that? Better? Probably too much one way now. Anyway, it is what it is. So they offered me about 5 colours of what they think a bathroom should be. White. Everybody has white. But they offered me white, cream. Well, cream is dirty white. So I said no. What was the other colour? Oh, magnolia. Bloody magnolia. It's still going. Can you believe it? Magnolia. When I was a kid, the councils used to paint every single house, every inch in magnolia. And it seems that magnolia is, you know, when you hire a company in or whatever to do these jobs, they bring tubs of magnolia. Would you like magnolia? No, I wouldn't. So yeah, it was cream. It was white, cream, magnolia, light grey, and another colour. Maybe even 2 more colours. Maybe there was a light blue, but I've just had it blue. But I think for a bathroom, maybe, I don't know, a touch of yellow, just a hint of orange, something warm, you know, not bright orange admittedly, but you know, just a hint. Just not cream, definitely not cream, but more creamy than cream would be lovely. It would be warm, wouldn't it? So a little drop of orange in there, maybe. I don't know. You have whatever you have. So I've gone for the light grey because I just thought it's not white and it's not magnolia. That's what I thought. It's not bloody cream. So I like it, and I'm liking it more and more every single time I go in there. It's kind of, it's not classy, but it's very, very easy on the eye. It's clean. It's I don't know. He went over the ceiling. He took all me metal debris down, about 100, and he skimmed over the ceiling. And then he's painted the ceiling twice with white paints, which is fine for a ceiling. And it's lovely, really. It's so light and bright and just dead flat, dead calm. And then the walls are reasonable. I mean, I suppose they could have rubbed them down a little bit better, but I don't mind. You know, it's the bathroom. You know, how long do you spend in the bathroom? Well, it depends on what you're doing, I suppose. But when I was sitting in the bathroom, I would sit and read stuff and look at stuff and laugh at bloody stuff, laugh at myself. But yeah, now I'm thinking, I'm being swayed by the nice colour, by the gentleness of it. Yeah, I don't know. So whether I redo it, whether I do it slightly different, whether I go to town on it in a new, different way, whether I leave it alone, whether I have it what could be called bland, we'll see. I don't think I'm going to know until everything's done. I've ordered the flooring, so the flooring will be in a day or two, hopefully. So yeah, once you've got the ceiling and the walls and the flooring, and then of course you've got the wet room itself, like the shower tray thing, it's got glass doors, you'll see it. I've got a new toilet coming, I've got the new toilet here now, waiting to be installed. So I've got a new toilet, new sink, so there's obviously everything else that comes new with it, new taps and new everything else. They're putting a new fan in, it's called a humidity fan, so rather than just something that you turn the light on and it starts wearing away, this apparently, once it gets humid in there, it then draws the air out, it takes any moisture out, apparently. So we'll see. I got a new light put in there last week because my light went and I couldn't see. I've got a new shower, that's on order, that should be here today or tomorrow. The electrician came yesterday, so all the everything's in place for it. So we're good to go, really. You know, it's still we're a number of days away, and I'm getting bloody fed up with it, if I'm honest. But hey, never mind. Come on, be cheerful. I am bloody fed up with it. Fed up with the noise, the hassle, the people in and out. I just want my. I'm a recluse. I'm very reclusive, you know, and it's quite stressful. Having not friends here, I love to see friends, that's great, but when it's strangers, and it's different strangers, you know, yesterday there was a painter in, the electrician came, so the painter went to his van and had lunch early to leave the electrician in place. While the electrician was here, somebody came to measure up something, can't even remember what that was now, and then somebody else came and they were dropping off the glass surrounds for the shower area, which I don't know quite what that's going to look like, but I'm happy, whatever. That's what I told him, whatever. Just do a nice job and I'm happy, whatever. So yeah, I think there was about 5 people yesterday, and the day before, probably about the same, I don't know. So about 4 or 5 people per day. It's quite a lot, and sometimes they're in there laughing and chatting and what have you. And I don't really bother about this. If I need a piss, I need a piss. And I did say to him yesterday, you're gonna have to shift out and need a piss. And I said, yeah, no worries. And off they went, and I had a quick piss. You know, I'm not bothered about it at all. I'm not going to sit here breaking my neck thinking, oh bloody hell, I wish they'd piss off. You know, I made up my mind straight away. First morning, if I need a piss, I need a piss, you know. And because of the way my body is, after cancer, it's a funny thing, either pee or the other. Sometimes I do get warning, of course I do, but I find I can't really hold it like I used to. It may be a bloody age thing, who knows. I'm 26. Anyway, I made my Slurpee, so cheers. So I don't know who's coming today, but I really want to go and get some stuff, SHOP. So I'm going to see if my lovely neighbour can come and sit with somebody for the hour. It'll take me about an hour. And then she's here if anybody turns up. And they know what they're doing anyway. Whew, God, that's hot. So, I'll turn this camera off, then I'll turn it back on, and then I can tell you my little bit of news. It's quite big news, really. But, yeah, we'll do that now. Hello. So I do that because sometimes we get to 19 minutes and the camera turns itself off. Not always, but sometimes, and I don't know why. It's just being a bloody pain. So I might need to spin you and read you a couple of bits in a minute. Oh, we'll have a chat first, shall we? Yeah. So, for the past year, I've been writing another book. I know, I can't bloody stop, I told you, I cannot stop. I didn't know I was writing a book until probably 2 months ago, something like that. I like to doodle, I like to draw, I like to paint, I like to write words down, I like to mess around, I'm quite creative. I write poems, I write things that pop into my head. I could write a dream down, I could write anything down. And I'm forever scribbling stuff down and typing it into there. Sometimes if I scribble it down and it's good enough, I then sit and type it into there, whatever I've just scribbled down. I don't scribble too much down. So like if it was a dream, I wouldn't perhaps write the whole dream down and then have to sit there and type it in. I wouldn't be doing that. But yeah, so I didn't know until about 2 months ago. I started to look at all this stuff and I thought, where's this going, you know? And there was a couple of bits in particular that were in response to two separate people who's asked me. One said, could you do a video on, and then a particular subject, and it was a fairly new friend on the phone was saying something about something, and they were both in my head for some reason ages ago. The video that I made for somebody, I remember where I was, but I can't actually remember really what the video was about. So I put just the highlights, a couple of little bits and bobs. And then this fairly new friend said similar-ish. And I thought, that's strange, I've been asked this sort of a question before and I could answer it in the same way, although it wouldn't be personal to that person. And for some reason that put me in mind of writing a letter. Because if you can't speak to somebody, maybe write a letter to them, maybe. I know these days we're either on the phone or we text. Apart from that, it's an email. But I think a text is a letter. Maybe just a few words, but it's a mini letter. And I think an email definitely is a letter, because it can be very wordy. And of course a letter is just a wonderful thing. A handwritten letter. Imagine that. The last thing I got that was written was a card by my lovely friend Paula, and she said, I just felt like handwriting a letter to you, you know. And it was this double-sided card, completely full, absolutely lovely, and I'll probably cherish it. I know it's a bit silly, but I probably will. But I don't do that. I never write anybody a letter like that. But it doesn't have to be that way. It could be all sorts of different ways. So this led me on really to start thinking, this is kind of like a book, you know. It is, there's other bits that I've been kind of writing and manipulating and chopping and changing and what have you. And I thought, all this together, not all of it, I mean some of it is nonsense, I tell you, nonsense. But because I'm empty in my head, so some of it is deep and meaningful, powerful, serene. It's a little bit, maybe there's some advice in there or some information or whatever. The whole thing really is me. It was me emptying my head, but do you know what? It's really this book, over and above any other book, it's my soul talking. Does that sound too hippie? Can't believe I just said that. I think I'm right though. It's my soul. It's so deep. So it's not, parts of it are personal, but it's so deep and meaningful that I know if you read it, you'd connect so deeply with it. I've sent a couple of these bits, we call them, to a couple of different people, and the feedback I've got was absolutely phenomenal. The friend that I'm hoping to ask to babysit, dog sitting really, but anyway, I said to her, would you like to read blah blah blah? And she said, oh, I'd love to, thank you. Anyway, so I sent it to her, and she said, I started to read, she said, I got halfway and I burst into tears. She said, but in a good way. She said, it is so emotive, so powerful, but so beautifully written. She said, and I fully understood. She said, and it's led me on to think about, and this is the beauty of it, she said, it's led me on to think about my current situation and what I've thought is, and then it opened a conversation between me and her, and it was lovely. So it is my soul talking, it is that deep. But as I say, because it's me emptying my head, there's a little old nonsense in there as well. So yeah, it might be my soul talking, but this nonsense is like my big toe talking. It's just garbage, rubbish, nonsense stuff, and that needs to come out of my head as well. I think this is what we need to do. So yeah, I empty my head. It's like I soak up so much in my brain, and it's like if I could get my brain and wring it out like that, and it all drips down, and some of it is really, in my opinion, very good, but it's my soul talking, and there's some that dribbles down your arm and off your bloody elbow, and you know, it's a bit rubbish, and you give it a bit of a wipe. What am I talking about? So yeah, that's really, I suppose, what I wanted to talk about in this premiere. It's very, very difficult to write. If you're writing from the soul, then, or you're writing something that you really mean it, and you mean it from the deepest part of you, you really mean it, then it's got to be worded correctly. Otherwise it just becomes a surface bubble of noise and words and stuff, you know. And I don't want that. That's okay if you're reading a novel, a romance novel. It's lovely, isn't it, you know. Or if you're reading a short story about some whole thing or whatever. But when it's something that is emotive, it is powerful, it is I haven't even got the words to describe it really. It is, I don't know, let's go back there. It is my soul talking. So when you do that, you need to get things right and to say things right, and that is the struggle. That's the struggle that I'm having. I would say I've probably written half or more of the book. I was hoping, in a way, when I looked a couple of months ago, I was thinking, wouldn't this be nice to finish the year with this book, get this book out? Well, I don't think there's any way of me doing that, even though it's been a year. And I'm not going to say it's going to take another year, but probably it's going to take another 6 months, maybe 3 months. I don't know what it's going to take. I've no idea, because it is, maybe it's more than half done. Yeah, we'll say that. We'll go 60 to 70% done, maybe, something like that. But is a book ever done? I don't think so. But yeah, so I thought what I'd do is maybe I'll read you a couple of little bits, just a few little bits, and you'll see maybe the struggle that I have by trying to say what I really mean. It's very difficult. Okay, so let's have a look. Right, Bode, I'm just going to move here. Could you move out of the way, please? Yeah, just there. Thank you. No, a bit more, love. A bit more. Keep going. That's it. Thank you. The washing machine's upsetting today. I don't think they're friends anymore. Right. Here we go then. So, I just got to find the bit that I want. So, forgive me or not. Okay, so this little bit is really about when I was teaching. It was how I was feeling about the teaching and what the teaching, hopefully what the teaching gave the students, but what it gave to me as well. So I've written 4 or 5 lumps of writing, we call it, okay? So you'll see it's a bit of an higgledy-piggledy thing at the moment. I was going to start it like this. This is not, so this is how I go. So I wrote this first. This is how it was going to start, but this will be in, probably be in this piece of writing. So I started it like this. I said, a teacher is a lighthouse in 1,000 small storms, guiding, looking, listening, noticing. We see the quiet ones, the ones who tried to disappear in the back of the room. We see the sparks in the restless ones too, the ones the world called trouble. And I thought, you're not trouble, you're alive. I was you. Because I know my teachers would have told you that I was a bit of a troublemaker. So that's the start. And it's quite deep, I suppose, but that is the start, or was going to be the start, but I think now the start is going to be this. Because that was, there may be 2 separate parts to this, I don't know, but that is how I thought about the teaching and what have you. But that was, oh, here's somebody. Yeah, I've got somebody now to do the shower. But then this little bit is what I've learned from teaching. And I'll try and get through a line or 2 of this. So I said, teaching taught me that people bloom at their own pace. You can water, nurture, guide, but you cannot rush somebody's learning. Growth takes time, and it looks different for everyone. It taught me that the smallest gestures matter the most. A kind word on a hard day, a smile that tells a student they belong here. Those small moments outlast the lessons and the grades. Anyway, with that, I gotta go. So we started the video and we stopped. I knew we would have to, but whatever. I'll be back when I'm back. Cheers, be well. Hello. So this is the bathroom towards completion, waiting on the floor today. So we've had it skimmed last night, or not last night, in the last 2 days. That's the shower, blah blah blah. That weird little thing is a pump that draws the water from the shower outside because we're on a slight incline, decline, whatever it is. But do you know what? I thought about, I'm not going to do it, I thought about putting stickers on there because I think it's an alien. Very strange. Anyway, so the tiles are lovely, I think. Just light grey. So I've got some light grey accessories coming. Ceiling without any more bits on. Incredible. I'm not happy with that, so they're going to have to come back, and I don't know why. That hole is the same as that. Why didn't they move the whole bloody thing over? Anyway, that'll be done either today or tomorrow, hopefully, or soon. So yeah, it's all taking shape, as you see. So we've got the floor coming in today, and then we've got just some finishing off, masking around the toilet. The silicone beads that they put along, various things, just some general tidying up. We've got some box work, all this stuff will be boxed in, and then we've got a shower curtain that will come from there across, and that's what that tape is there to tell them where it is, where it ends. So that gives me there, so it gives me quite a lot of shower space. There you go. Nice. So apart from a good tidy up, good clean up, then we're sort of done. I've got to move all my bits and bobs into here. I like several bits I like, but I like this here. This is, I think they call it featherboard. It's just a plastic board with a lip. There's the lip. It's for the tiles, so I kind of like that. But they didn't have it wide enough to go on there, so that's just going to be cleaned and we'll have it as tiles. So I've got my mirror up as normal, and to remember that I am enough. So yeah, there's an alien's head. It took a while, this wet room, because of this. Basically, this is a pump, because I go slightly uphill here. They needed a pump to drag the water out. There's a black and white dog there, look. Just saw him briefly, didn't you? So anyway, we're kind of done. Just got to get some more bits and bobs in here and then we're done. So that's that. Hello. Hello. So, the bathroom, wet room actually, the wet room is virtually done. I think I've just videoed it. I've got so many clips that we're going to have to try and put this all together. So I think I've just videoed it just to show it virtually done. It just needs all my bits and bobs put away and a bit of a clean and tidy. One of my neighbours is coming round, bless her, who loves to buff tiles, yeah, and scrape off paint, probably with her bloody bare nails, I don't know, off of me tiles above the loo. I've got a featherboard, it's called, on the main tiles, which is the windowsill tiles, but it's not wide enough to cover the other tiles, so they will remain, so that's good. I've got a few bits and bobs coming today and tomorrow, mostly in various greys, just to keep it that subtle. I say subtle, well no, it's going to be subtle. Let me tell you, I've ordered for 3 might go in there, so let's say 3. I've ordered 3 metal wall arts. Now they're black, they're flat, but once they're on the wall they kind of look semi 3D, so maybe we'll see them at some stage, but you know, it's I think they're quite classy. You might not, others might not, others might think what on earth, but I don't care. I think it'll look classy, it will look classy, so we'll see anyway. I think it will. So we've virtually done that. Now why did it take so long? Well, it took so long for a number of reasons. The main reason really is that we go slightly uphill here, so the water obviously would like to go downhill, wouldn't it? And it couldn't go downhill. So after a couple of tries they decided that I would need this pump, and this pump, when you go into the shower, as soon as you turn the water on, the pump starts bzzz, like that, and it's dragging the water out. When you turn the shower off, the pump stops, and then you get dried and you get sorted, and then after about 5 minutes, when the rest of the water is sort of dribbled down into the hole, it then starts up again, and it just for 1 minute just drags that out, so you're totally clear. So anyway, it's a smart bit of kit. It's a bit noisy, but it's a smart bit of kit. So the problem with it was they had to drill it out, the floor, the concrete floor out, and they used like a pneumatic bloody drill. The whole of the bungalow was shaking, I tells you, the whole of it. Poor little Bodie was all over the place, so was I a bit. Frazzled. Jangled, spangled, frazzled and mangled. That was the pair of us. But they dug down a little bit too deep. I thought they had, and I said, is that not too deep for what you want to do? And they said, no, that's right. Anyway, so the manager came out and had a look, not the following day, but the day after, so we'd lost 2 days. And he said they've dug it too deep. And I said, oh really? So I'm not having a swimming pool in there. And he said, no, you're not. So they had to then come back, or somebody came back, and they had to fill it back up with concrete. So anyway, we lost really 2.5 days, that was, I suppose. and then fitting the all the plumbing that goes with the little alien's head shaped, what do you call it, pump. You know, it was a bit of a pain really, but they got that right in the end, so that was good. And there was another day when unfortunately nobody turned up. The plumber was sent to a different address, and when he got there, his mate was working there, and he just thought that they got to work together for the day because it was another bathroom installed, so obviously they're ripping out and redoing and whatever, so there's a lot of work for one, but so he remained there, and I didn't know anything about it, so we lost another day. So essentially the 2.5 to 3 days, we probably lost 4.5 to 5 days really. And then there's a couple of little tiny hold-ups waiting for some bits and bobs, so 6 or 7 days. So that's why we're a week, at least a week behind, but we're done. We're virtually done anyway. There's 1 or 2 small things to finish off, and they are small things, so it's going to go nice and quiet. Hello Bode. It's going to go nice and quiet, nice and calm, mostly for Bodie. I don't mind too much, but this poor little thing, he couldn't get any closer to me. If he, I've said before, but if he could crawl inside of my skin, then he would. Poor little thing. Anyway, it's bloody cold out there, so I'm having a hot Slurpee, so cheers. Yeah, it's turned really cold, but then, you know, what do we expect? November. So I'm pleased with it overall. Once I get it cleaned today and put my stuff in, and you know, it becomes the normal room that it should be. I think for a few weeks it's been a work room, you know, it's been a workman's room. It's been smelling of dust. Every time you go in there, it's dust. Every time, if I wake up, this is a bit personal, Brian, if I wake up about 3 o'clock in the bloody morning for a wee, first thing I have to do, put my Crocs on. Don't matter if I'm not wearing anything else, but I have to wear my Crocs, because you go in there, crunch, 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 little bits of concrete, little bits of stone, little bits of board, sands, technical stuff, woodworking, shavings, sawdust, that's what I'm looking for, and things. So you've got to wear your Crocs to have a wee. So no longer we don't have to do that, so that's good. But it's been smelling of dust and of chemicals and of glue and of various different things, and so it's been smelly, it's been noisy, it's been dirty, it's been dusty, but we're slowly getting there now. Well, actually we're slowly getting there, we're virtually on the way now. So, and as I say, you get your bits and bobs, get it clean, get your bits and bobs in, and it's a normal room rather than a workman's room. So that's that. This video, really, this premiere is now just about me bloody chatting. I'm sorry about that, but we haven't been able to go out. The reason why, I've been here for the workman. Simple as that. So I did go out on a really lovely occasion, and that was to see a lady, and she had a bloody black tube with a light on the end. Guess where she put it? Do you know what she said first of all? She said, I'm just going to insert a finger. No, I didn't even know her name. She said, I'll just insert a finger, see how you like that. Well, she didn't say like that. She said it might be a bit cold. And I was going to say, go on then. She'd already done it. She said, I'm just going to insert a finger. Bang, she was up there. And I don't know what she won, what she found, no idea. Anyway, the outcome of that was, it wasn't fantastic. It was fantastic health-wise, so that's good. Don't worry about that. That's great. So the main outcome was, she said, I can guarantee you are 99% free of cancer. 99%. And that's fantastic. Why not 100%? Because the prep work that you do, in other words, drinking that awful fluid that makes you very loose, wasn't the best. The prep work wasn't the best. Now, they used to have a different prep that you took, and Christ, that worked. for some reason they've stopped it. And do you know why? Money. So they've gone with this cheaper thing. Now what would happen is you take one sachet at night, one in the morning. You take your sachet at night, and within 20 minutes, 25 minutes, you're off to the loo, and you don't stop going to the loo for a couple of hours. And literally you go to the loo and you get very, very empty, then you come back in, 10 minutes sometimes, 5 minutes can go by, and you think, oh Christ, I've got to go again. And it's a quick hallway shuffle, you know, to the loo, and you know, that happens. So that's what happens on the first sachet. Then the second sachet, it dissipates a bit and you can get to sleep. In the morning, you take the second sachet. Now what I'm on about is a bloody litre of this thick, salty, creamy liquid. Somehow you've got to, oh, anyway, whatever. So you take that, and that one is a stronger formula than the first. So it literally, you can imagine, okay? So waterfall, put out the, you know. So eventually everything's clear, right? You are clear. But so they changed it for this cheaper option. I drank the first one over an hour, it says. Well, I was very brave and very clever, and I drank it within about 40 minutes, and that was good, because the last time I took it, it was about 2.5 hours, I know. Anyway, I made up my mind this time I'm really going to go for it. So about 40 minutes I drank it. I didn't need the loo, so I waited 20 minutes, and I thought, still nothing. Wow, never mind, give it another 5 minutes. And after 2 or 3 hours, I thought, this isn't working at all. So I went and sat on the loo, and there was nothing. So I went to bed, and woke up in the morning, and so I drank the second litre, sachet 2, and had to rush off to the loo several times. So what happened, I believe, is sachet 1 doesn't really work. So it left me with, she called it debris. Now I said to my mate John on the phone, imagine if she found like a little block of Lego, or a bloody pen top. I'm always chewing pencils and stuff, imagine that. She found debris. So she couldn't go for the last little bit, so she went 99% of the way, and she said it's all good, it's all clear, but she just couldn't go the other little bit. So the outcome is I've got to go and have an x-ray. I've got to take more stuff to make me loose, but it's a different stuff and it's much better, and the second one contains a contrast, so a dye, and then you go in for this x-ray, and they just check the last little bit, so I'm good to go really. So it's all very, very good, and it's all very positive and all the rest of it. It's a shame I got to go in again. But I said to her, I don't know why that stuff didn't work. You know, I took it exactly, and she said, don't worry. She said, you're the 20th patient, she said, since we've changed it. Well, how can that be? How can that save any money? 20 people now have got to go back in to see another nurse or whatever, to have to have x-ray. That's a room that you've got to book, you've got to have somebody to operate the machine. You know, what a palaver. That can't be a money saving thing. Anyway, whatever, it's not my concern. So I've got to go in, don't know when, got to go in for my x-ray, and hopefully they're going to say, you're 100% clear. If they say that, then I'm off their books, because it's a 5-year cancer pathway that I've been on, so I'm off their books. So I think I can safely say I don't have cancer. Simple as that. What a relief after 5 bloody years. But saying that, of course, and I don't want to be negative at all, but when you MOT your car, you're only saying that your car was safe on that day at that MOT station. And it's a little bit with your body. I mean, anything could happen tomorrow or next week or next year, anything. You know, none of us know. So, and I'm in the same boat now as everybody else. Apart from, I did read some of the paperwork that they gave me, which was quite concerning, and I didn't realise, or I haven't read, but for 5 years I've been at very high risk of cancer returning. I didn't know that. And I said that to her, and she said it's because of where you had colon cancer, but where you had it. We know, obviously, after all these years, facts and figures, but there's a very, very high percentage of people that return. So I've been at very high risk. Had I known that, that would have made me even more anxious, I think, to be honest. So I'm glad I didn't know, glad I didn't read it. But anyway, so it's all good, so that's great. So I don't know when the x-ray is going to be, but it's going to be at some stage. So it's all good. And really, I think that's about it. I mean, this premiere, I think it's going to be very short and sweet, because I've got to wait in. I've got to tidy up the bathroom really, but I've got to wait in for, number one, for my neighbour, but also there's a couple of little jobs that just need finishing off, and then we're good to go in there. So while we're here, let me turn this off and turn it back on again. Yeah, we do that. Okay. So while we're here, I thought I'd quickly read you something that I wrote just yesterday, because this premiere is about, really it's about the bathroom, but it's about my book as well, my new book, which is going to be called Dear Friend. I don't know when it's out, but let's hope it's something like January, February, March. Let's hope it's something like still a way to go, but we are getting there. The good thing with the bathroom is it's given me plenty of time to work on the book, so I treated this as a job, and at least 3 or 4 hours per day I've spent on this, not necessarily writing it, but thinking things through and trying to get the words correct in my head and things like that, because it means a lot to me, this book, and I wanted it to be written correctly rather than quickly, which is wrong. Anyway, so this is called Dear Friend, Music is My Medicine. So dear friend, during the heavy years, the ones shadowed by drugs and depression, anxiety and panic, the ones where getting out of bed felt like a mountain, music held me together in ways words never could. Music has always been more than sound to me. It has been the one true constant in life, the comfort in my darkest hours, the celebration in my brightest, the compassion, the companion who never once walked away. So the companion who never once walked away. I tell you what, I'm sat too far back and it's slightly blurry. I need to sit about there, but if I do, what are you going to see? When I look back on my life, music is the thread running through every chapter. It didn't ask me to be better, happier, stronger. It simply sat with me. It finds the cracks in you and fills them gently. Music understands what silence tries to swallow. It lifts the heaviness just enough for you to breathe again. Music has always reached a part of me that nothing else could touch. A song can lift me out of a low mood spiral. A melody can carry me through grief. A rhythm can steady my heartbeat. A song is something that sees beyond the noise of my mind. And it's beautiful how universal it is. How a single song can hold your past, your pain, your happiness, your memories, your hope, all at once. Music has taught me things life never managed to say out loud. That tears can be healing, that emotion is not weakness, and that surviving, even quietly, is a kind of courage. And maybe that's why it matters so much to me, because in a world that has often felt overwhelming, in a mind that has not always been kind, music has been the place where I could be fully myself, unmasked and unafraid. If there is no music, there is no life. That's why the words "music is life" are tattooed into my skin. Etched into me as permanently as every memory they've carried me through. So yes, music is life, my sanctuary, my medicine, my reminder that beauty still exists even when the world feels dark and heavy. As long as there is music, there will always be something in this world worth staying for. Okay, so the book will be out whenever it's out. I just got to look out there. Oh no, I thought a van had arrived for the bathroom. Anyway, it's a wet room. Bloody wet room, not bathroom. Don't have a bathroom anymore. A bathroom would have a bath. I don't have a bath. How old-fashioned. I used to have a bath. So yeah, that was Dear Friend, Music is My Medicine. I'm really pleased with that. Be better if I could read. Anyway, it's a very heartfelt book. It really is. I said before, it's like my soul talking. And I said, I don't know if that's too hippie. Well, I don't care really. I believe it is. It's my soul talking. So there's a lot of stuff in this book. So what the book is, I think I've already said this, but I don't know, because as I say, I'm making this, with a wet room as it is. So there's little bits and bobs everywhere, and I need to find them all and clip them all together, and then we got the premiere. But there are, what the book is a load of letters. Dear friend, and you are my friend. And it's from your friend, which is me. So you are my friend, dear friend, from your friend. So it's a load of letters. It's 55 so far. Actually, there's 56. But I am working on maybe 10 or so of those. So they're not complete. Maybe they won't make the book. Maybe they will. Maybe they'll have to be chopped and changed and rethought out. As I say, I want each letter to be something really meaningful, not just a bit of a surface thing. I don't want a throwaway letter. That's not what I want. I want you to read each letter, or even each part of each letter, and just close the book, hold the book, and think about what I've just said. How does that equate to your life? What do I mean by that? Is that a nice thing to say? If so, why? How? Could you use that in your life in some way? So I want it to be meaningful. I want it to hold some love. I want it to be impactful. I want you to read it and think, that was nice. That was lovely. That's what I want you to do. Not with everything, because when you're talking about difficult things, difficult emotions come up. But on the whole, a lot of the book, I want you to come away after reading each one. I think, yeah, I get that, that's nice. Or that has helped me in some way, maybe. Who knows? So, yeah, so far there's 55 letters. I don't know if there's going to be any more or whether there's going to be less than that. Because I have a number of ideas and a number of different bits and bobs. But one or two of those letters might not make it. One or two of those letters will. And as I say, one or two would probably have to be changed. But so be it. So that brings us to the end of this short premiere. So the bathroom and the book, both are still in progress really as we speak. The bathroom is just about there. Wet room. Would I ever call it a wet room? No. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll show you a couple of photos because I've lost a little tiny bit of weight. So let's have a look at the photos now. Dum da dum da dum da dum dum da dum da dum 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 ba dum ba dum ba dum dum ba dum ba dum. Okay, so we're having a look at the photos. We might have even seen them, I tells you. I don't know. So you'll see how skinny I am. So I've been eating fruit. I've been not having Chinese. So this Friday coming will be the third Chinese that should have been. So yeah, I've lost a little bit of weight, and that's for the potential surgery for this hernia, which will be in about March, something like that. And by then this book will be done and dusted. Let's hope so. And it'll be on eBay. I'll make a video when it's done, obviously, so you know, that everybody knows. And if you want a copy, or you want to buy a copy for a friend or whatever, then you'll know when it's finished and when it's up on eBay. So yeah, that brings us to the end. You've seen the photos of my skinny little body. It's difficult to lose weight the older you get. It's difficult. But you know, I'm trying. I really am trying. I need to move more, and because I've been sat indoors waiting for these guys every single day, I haven't done a lot of moving, really, to be honest. But I'm going to start, so as soon as this bathroom's ready, we'll be out and about, which would be lovely, because I miss it. We've been out once or twice, and it's lovely. I don't always take the camera with me, as you know, but I really do miss just being outside, just being out. It doesn't matter what you do, just out. If you can get outside, get outside. That's what I say. Okay, so yeah, that brings us to the end. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you if you've commented. Thank you for being there. And hope you've enjoyed my awful reading. I did my best. Through my tired eyes, my tired brain, I did my best. But yeah, so we're off. Thank you very much. And take good care of yourselves. We'll be back another day. Look after yourself, look after each other. And wherever you go, go with all your heart. Much love. Take care and be well.